Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha Acharye.
So last time we spoke about Am. In the first session we spoke about Agni, and then if the Agni is not adequate, a toxin is produced which is called Am. So we said that Am is like a Rakshas, it's like a demon. It wants to destroy the whole body. So we should know how we can prevent this. So let's begin with the prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. So today we'll learn how to prevent Am. You know this? Prevention is better than cure. Have you heard of this saying? You know what prevention is? So prevention is like if we have a house, like we're sitting here in this room. So we don't want the thief to come inside. Do you want the thief to come inside and steal away your TV and chair and everything? No. So you have to prevent that. So what will you do? What can you do to prevent the thief from stealing this? Any one of you? Yes?
We will close the door.
Very good. You keep the door closed. So you have to have a strong door. You have to have a latch. You might need to have a security guard. Correct? If you leave the door open, if you don't have windows, the thief is going to come in. Correct? So if you see the thief coming from far, you should keep your doors closed, and you can appoint a security guard and you can ask him to shoo that thief away. Correct? But if the thief enters your house, it's going to be difficult to get him out. So the door, the security guard is all prevention. You don't let him enter in the first place. Once he has entered, then to take him out is a difficult task, isn't it? So that is like cure. That is, once the disease has happened, then you're trying to correct it. That is cure or treatment of the disease. And prevention is taking measures beforehand, before the disease happens, so that the disease doesn't happen at all. Understood? So if the thief comes and sits in your house for 6 months, then what will happen?
We don't have things.
Yeah, then it's going to be his house. Then it's not your house anymore. Correct? So then it's his house. You have to do what he says. If he says, press my legs, you'll have to press his legs. Isn't it? So that's exactly what happens in a disease. So this example has been used in Ayurveda, in Charak Samhita, that you should prevent the disease before coming, so that it doesn't come into your body. Because the body is like a home, isn't it? So the body is a temple of the god or goddess. So you prevent that thief from coming in, rather than let him come in and then you try to seek a cure or a treatment. Understood? So today we're going to learn how to prevent disease. So we already said that the stomach, it's like a pot. When you're cooking in the pot, so have you seen your mother cooking in the kitchen? So does she fill the pot to the brim, to the top, or does she leave some gap? Yeah, so she needs some space to stir, right? So in the same way, Ayurveda says that we need to leave some gap. Now you see this, supposing this is the stomach, the circle. The green part, how many, anyone tell me ratio? How many parts is the green part?
3/4.
3/4. And what about the orange part? How much is that? Yes?
1/4.
1/4, very good. So Ayurveda says that you should leave 1/4, that is the orange part, empty, and fill the stomach only 3/4. Have you ever experienced that? Supposing you have a very good meal, you have a bhandara, and then you eat and you really like it, you like the jalebi, you like the gulab jamun, and you eat, and then it's so difficult to get up from the seat. Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
Yes? So that means, how much have you filled it? Have you filled it 3/4? No, you filled it more than full. You know, the stomach is elastic. Have you seen like a balloon? And you keep filling in air, and it starts expanding. And it can expand so much. Correct? So the same way our stomachs are also elastic. So you can overfill them, overstuff them by overeating, and they have an immense capacity to expand. So you should fill it only 3/4. Now how do you know you filled it 3/4? Because you're not going to put in an endoscope. We saw a colonoscope last time, right? You put it around the other end. So in the same way, are you going to put in an endoscope every time to check whether it's 3/4? Now, okay, now I should stop, right? So how do you know?
You will get burp.
Yeah, once you get a burp, then you have to stop. Okay, before that, can you see that there are markings in the green area? And so there are 3 parts, 3/4. So out of that, 2 parts are to be filled with solid food. You understand solid and liquid? Right? What is the solid form of water?
Ice.
Ice, very good. And what's the liquid form of water?
Water.
And what's the gaseous form of water?
Gas.
Which gas?
Vapor.
Water vapor, yeah. So our stomach should be filled 2 parts. That is, 1 part has to be left empty for air to stir the pot. That is so that the food can move in the stomach and digest. 2 parts have to be filled with solid food and 1 part with liquid food. Supposing you put only solid food in a pot, is it easy to cook it? Or if you add some liquid, it's easy to cook, right? So in the same way, Ayurveda says that you should fill your stomach 2 parts with solid food and add 1 part liquid, so that the churning of the juices, of the enzymes can happen in an appropriate way. So if you're eating chapati, then there's some dal or there's some curry, there's chas. So that ratio is maintained. Supposing you're eating something absolutely dry, like paratha or khakra or poha, which doesn't have any liquid, then you will need some liquid, which should be about less than half of your solid. So what can you drink along with that? You can drink chas with your poha or khakra, or you can have some green tea, correct? So you need some liquid. Otherwise, if you already have a liquid in the form of dal, or some sabjis have a lot of gravy, so then you don't need water. Understood? So Sandhya spoke about the burp. So I'd like to share a story. Does anyone know the story? It's a story from the Mahabharata. So in the Mahabharata, the Pandavas, they had gone into the forest. They were asked to go in exile in the forest. So now Duryodhan, was he a Pandava or was he a Kaurav?
Kaurav.
He was a Kaurav. So he was a very wicked fellow, and he didn't think well of the Pandavas. They were his cousins, but he thought, no, harm should come to them. They should get destroyed. And even when Krishna said, just give them 5 small villages, he had such a big kingdom, just small 5 villages. He said, no, I'll not even give that much, earth where you can just place a small needle. Even that much I'm not going to give. So he was jealous, he was greedy. So he thought, okay, now they're in the jungle, and poor things, they were in the jungle. So, you think they were having a very good time in the jungle? No. But still he wanted harm to come to them. So, in the first image, you see Yudhishthir and you see Surya Bhagwan, because Yudhishthir was Dharmaraj. So he used to do all good deeds, and he used to feed all the rishis who came to him, even though they were in the jungle and they had very little to eat, but he would share the food with them, because it's our tradition to first offer the food to all the saints and rishis who come. So he used to do that, and so Bhagwan Surya blessed him with a pot. Do you see the pot? So that's called the Akshaya Patra. He said that anyone who comes to you, this Akshaya, Akshaya, Akshaya. Shaya means destruction, and means opposite. So opposite of destruction. That is, the food will never get over. It will always be there. So anyone comes to your house, you can feed that person. You will never have any lack. Right? It will always be adequate. But there's one condition, that once Draupadi eats, then it will be over. So Draupadi has to be the last one to eat. So she used to feed all the guests, all the rishis who would come. She would feed all the 5 Pandavas, and in the end she would eat. So Duryodhan was very clever, and he was also very wicked. So he, Durvasa Rishi, have you heard of Durvasa Rishi? So how was he? Was he a very gentle Rishi, or was he an angry person?
Angry.
Angry person, right? So he came to Duryodhan's place and Duryodhan offered him very good food. And Durvasa Rishi was very pleased. So he said, Duryodhan, I'm very happy with you. So Duryodhan said, okay, Rishi Maharaj, you please go to my brother's place also, my cousins who are in the jungle, you go to their place also and bless them also. And please go in the afternoon, because he knew that all the Pandavas and everyone would have eaten by then, and Draupadi would also have eaten. And when after Draupadi eats, there will be no food in the Akshaya Patra. And then when Durvasa Rishi goes there, and if there's no food, then what will he do? Will he be angry or will he be very pleased?
Angry.
He'll be very angry, and then he'll curse them. And if he curses them, then they're doomed, right? So he said, so he told Durvasa Rishi, please go in the afternoon and to my cousin's place also and bless them also. So Durvasa Rishi went there, and he didn't go alone. He took 1,000 disciples with him. He had students, right, who were studying Vedas, and he took 1,000 disciples with him. So imagine, so many people, they went there, and the Pandavas and Draupadi saw them coming, and they thought, oh my God, what will we do? Because we don't have any food left, and Draupadi had already eaten. So they got very worried. So Draupadi was a bhakta, right? Who did she worship? Krishna. So she worshipped and she prayed to Krishna, and she said, hey Krishna, and Krishna appeared. And he said, what happened, Draupadi? She said, Krishna, I'm so worried. Now look, these people have come. And then in the meanwhile, Yudhishthira said, Rishis, please go and have a bath in the river and then come back. And then we can have food. So they had all gone to take a bath. So they got some time. In the meanwhile, when Krishna came, he said, oh Draupadi, I'm so hungry, give me some food to eat. Draupadi said, I have called you for that very reason, that we don't have any food, and Durvasa Rishi is coming with 1,000 disciples. And you're asking for food. We have no food. He said, but you've been blessed with the Akshaya Patra. So give me that Patra. She said, but I've already eaten, there's nothing inside. So he said, no, give it to me. So she gave it, and he looked inside, there was 1 grain of rice. And he said, oh look, it's there. And you said there's nothing. So he took the grain of rice and he put it in his mouth. And he said, this is the most delicious meal I've ever had in my life. I'm so satisfied. And then he started burping, because he was satisfied. When you're satisfied, then you burp. So as soon as he ate that 1 grain of rice, who is he inside us? Aham.
Vaishya.
He is the Vaishwanar Agni inside us. So that Vaishwanar Agni was satisfied, right, with that fuel. So the same Vaishwanar Agni is in all of us. So what about the rishis there, the 1,000 rishis and Durvasa Rishi? Their Agni was also satisfied, because if the Lord is satisfied and he is the Vaishwanar Agni in all of us, they also started burping. And their stomachs felt so full. And then, do you think they could have eaten after that?
No.
No. And so they said, we are so full and we are burping, so we are not going to go back, because if we go back and they feed us more, and we'll be like overeating, then we'll probably vomit. So they were very wise and they said, let's go. Let's not even go there, because if we go there and they serve us food and we refuse, then they'll get angry. Isn't it? They'll say, we prepared the food with so much love and you're refusing our food. So then they just ran away from there. So the Pandavas were saved. And so that's the importance of the burp, right? But have you seen people burping? Have you seen people burping? Does it create a sound? Yes. And so, it's like that they burp. And then have you experienced that burp? Have you all experienced a burp? Does it have some taste like sour or bitter? Yeah? Sour. Anyone else?
Kabhi sour.
Sour sometimes and bitter sometimes. Yeah? And sometimes it has a bad smell and there's a lot of gas. Right? So that is not the burp you are talking about. Remember we said in the slide, how do we know that our stomach is 3/4 full? And you said that we experience a burp. So we don't want to be experiencing a sour burp or bitter burp or a loud burp like that, right? So that is a burp of indigestion. Remember we discussed last time, when the food doesn't digest inside, then it ferments, it rots, and that creates acid and gas. So that burp which feels sour, and acid is always sour, right? So that's why we feel the sour burp. So that is a burp of indigestion. We're not talking about that burp here. We're talking about a healthy burp. So that healthy burp, you know why that happens? Because this is our stomach. You see, this stomach is about 2/3 filled, right? It can take in a little bit more and then it will be 3/4. So you see, the upper part of the stomach is a little above the attachment of the esophagus. You see that? The esophagus is not attached to the top of the stomach. It's attached a little 1/3 below. So if the stomach fills, as the stomach fills, and it reaches about 2/3 or 3/4 till about here, then what happens, that upper part is filled with air. So the air bubbles up and it comes out as a burp. So now, since this burp is a healthy burp, it's not a burp of indigestion. So obviously it will not have any sour or bitter taste. And it will be a very subtle burp. You understand subtle? What is subtle?
Not loud.
Yeah, not loud. It's very soft, very good. So it's a very gentle burp. So it's not like that. So it's a very subtle burp, that much. And even you will miss it. You yourself will miss your burp if you don't pay attention to it. It's that subtle. Understand? So you have to be focused while eating. So if you are watching TV, will you experience that burp? Have you all experienced that tiny, silent, subtle burp while eating?
Yes.
Some of you saying yes, some are saying no, right? So why have you not experienced? Because you're not paying attention to it. So you have to pay attention, and only then you will be able to feel that burp. And that's when you have to stop eating. So you have to protect your Agni, right? Otherwise it creates, what does it create? So what do you see on the left side?
Cold water.
Cold water. So do you all drink cold water?
Yeah.
Have you ever had cold water?
Yes.
You like it? Yes. That's a perfect recipe for arm. So, have you ever seen your mother? You've all seen your mother's cooking, right? Have you ever seen her cooking with cold water or iced water or ice cubes? Does she add while cooking? No? It's funny, no? So, in the same way, we have a Agni inside. So, if you add cold water, if you add ice water, you think it's going to help the Agni? Or it's going to take up all that Agni? Just to bring it to normal temperature, it will waste all the Agni. And then what will be left to cook the food? Nothing, right? So we should not drink cold water with foods, and also not drink too much water, isn't it? So we drink only 1/4, and that too if you don't have liquid in your food. If you already have a lot of liquid, you have a bowl of soup, you have some curry, or if you have dal, then you don't need any water. And you should drink your solids and eat your liquids. Isn't it? Right, Harish? Should you drink your solids? Can you drink your solids? No. Can you? No. Anyone thinks you can drink your solids and you can eat your liquids? No? Possible? Is it possible? How is it possible?
By making juice.
By making juice? No. But how can you make juice out of, say, chapati? You eating chapatis. How do you make a juice out of chapati? Do you do that? You put your chapatis into a mixer. That's how they feed little babies. They crush it up and then they make a puree and they give the child. But you eat chapatis, right? Does everyone use a mixer at home?
No.
To eat your chapatis?
No.
So, has God given you a mixer in your mouth to crush the food? Yes. So you have to chew your food. And chew till it becomes a Liquid. And then you can drink it. Then you can drink your chapati.
But sometimes we are chewing, then the food is
Then what happens with the food?
निगल लेता है.
Yeah, so you swallow it prematurely before it should be swallowed. You chew it very little, and before it's chewed well, before it becomes a liquid, you chew it, isn't it? So you have to be mindful. You have to chew it. How much should you chew? So that
32.
well, not it's not always 32. That's just a way of telling you, because you have 32 teeth, so chew 32 times. But you have to chew it to the point that it becomes like a paste, and you should not be able to identify what is there in it. Like we spoke last time, if you vomit, you should not be able to identify what you've eaten. Like you should not be able to see grains of rice, or dal, or pieces of tomato, right? So it should all become like one paste, and you should not be able to identify. So you should chew the food that much, and you should eat your liquids. So if you have a liquid, you don't go, like you don't drink it fast like that. You shouldn't gulp it down. So keep it in your mouth for some time. The palate, you know what the palate is? The upper part. So it should stay in contact with that for a couple seconds and then swallow it. So the fluids should also be had very slowly, and the solid should be chewed well and then swallowed. So what is the white thing here on the right side? It's a tooth, right? And what's the thing below? Stomach. So they're holding hands, isn't it? So they have a friendship. So if the teeth chew the food well, then it puts less load on the stomach. The stomach doesn't have to work so hard, because the stomach, like, it's so soft, no? The stomach is soft. It's just made of muscle. It doesn't have any sharp teeth inside or any sharp organs inside. So it has to work so much. If you don't chew your food, then poor thing will get tired. And if it gets tired, then it will not be able to do work. Then it will create harm. So that's why the teeth have to help the stomach. And then the stomach also gives in return. It's a mutual friendship. You help me and I help you, right? So how does the stomach help the teeth? Then it does a good digestion, yes?
To make it strong.
Yes, so it digests the food well, and then the teeth will become strong. Because if your digestion is not strong, then you'll have weak teeth. You'll have marks on your teeth, or you'll have pits, like, what is a pit?
No.
Like a depression. Little pits, like you get pits in the soil filled with water during rainy season. So sometimes you have pits in the teeth. So, or stained teeth or weak teeth, sometimes they chip off, isn't it? So then the stomach, if it digests the food well, then your teeth will also, it will reflect on your teeth. The teeth will be healthy and strong. So just like on the left side, you see this cauliflower, it's been just cut into 3-4 big pieces. Can you cook the cauliflower like that? No. But if you chop it up finely, it will cook very easily in the pot. In the same way, if we chew our food well, it will cook easily, it will digest easily inside our stomach and intestines. So not only are we breaking down the food into small tiny particles, but also there is one enzyme here. Does anyone know the enzyme in the stomach? In the mouth? Yes, the saliva. The saliva has an enzyme, like papaya had an enzyme called? Papain, very good. And so the saliva has an enzyme called amylase. Say the word amylase.
Amylase.
Yeah, so that's an enzyme which digests the carbohydrate or the starch. Okay, so half the digestion is done in the stomach, in the mouth itself. So the stomach doesn't have to work so much. Then this is a word, repeat after me, adhyashan.
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 So adhyashan is when, what are we cooking in this? Any guess? Yeah, rice. So we're boiling rice. So I put in 2 bowls of rice, because we have a family of 5 people and 2 bowls are enough for 5 people. And they've already been boiling for 15 minutes. And then I get a call that we have some guests coming. So 4 more people are coming. So now can I put 2 more cups of rice in this?
No.
No, because this is already half cooked. And if I put more in this uncooked rice, then it's going to create a mess because some rice will get burnt and some rice will remain uncooked. So in the same way, if the stomach is like a pot, isn't it? We saw in the first diagram. The stomach is like a pot. So unless the food has been cooked in the pot, and then where will go after that? Intestine. Very good. So just like when you cook in a pot, once it's cooked, then you empty the pot. You empty the pot and then you wash it, and then you can cook a fresh batch of rice. Correct? In the same way, the stomach has to get emptied. The food has to go from the stomach into the small intestine, and then you can eat the second time. Correct? So if your food is already in the stomach and it's half digested, that is, it's half cooked, can you put in more? No. So if you've already eaten, say, half an hour ago, and then I offer you some cake or chocolate or gulab jamun, something you really like, will you eat it?
Yes.
Yes. So what does that mean? You're adding that food into food which has already been digested, right? Half digested. Is it going to cook properly? No. So what will it lead to? So you have to be mindful when you're eating. What do you see on the left side? What is the girl doing? Harish? Eating junk food, yes. Anything else? What else you observe?
Overeat.
She's overeating. Very good. What else?
She is eating and watching laptop.
Yeah, her attention is not on the food. One, she's eating junk food. Two, she's overeating. Three, she has something else also along with that. What does she have in the glass? Yeah, she has a Coke, and that's bad. And then on top of that, she's not even paying attention to what she's doing. She's looking at her laptop, right? So, what do you see on the right side?
Brain and stomach.
Very good. Yes. You see that the brain and the intestines are connected. So you see on the left side, the arrow is going from the intestine to the brain, and on the right, it's going from the brain to the intestine. So that means there's a connection. So okay, let's do this experiment. So just close your eyes and think of something you really love eating, something you really like. Just think of it and imagine it's there in front of you. You feel water coming in your mouth, saliva, yeah? You feel the salivation, so you start drooling, right? So that means the mere thought, have you seen that thing? Is it here? Did I show you a gulab jamun? No. Did you smell it? No. You just thought of it. And the mere thought created saliva. And what does the saliva do? What does it do to the food? Does it help in digestion? Yes? So it helps in digestion. In the same way, not only saliva, but also the gastric enzymes and the enzymes in the intestine start getting secreted once you think of food. So if your full attention is in the food, on the food while you're eating, so and you're thinking of how yummy it is, oh, it's so nice, my mother's cooked it with so much love, thank you God, I have food to eat, so many children don't even get food to eat. So if you have all those thoughts and you're focused on the eating, will the enzymes be secreted well or no? Yes. So and the food will be digested well. Now similarly, if you see the other arrow, there's an arrow going from the intestine to the brain. So if you eat mindfully, you're eating slowly, chewing the food, relishing the taste, then you will know that, okay, now my stomach is full and now I have the burp, right? You'll experience the burp. If you're watching the laptop, will you be able to experience the burp? No, you'll miss it because it's so subtle. So the intestines will, the gut will give a signal to the brain that, okay, now I'm done, full, stop eating. So you won't overeat. Okay, now in this diagram, can you spot the differences? Raise your hands. What differences can you spot? Yes?
In this picture, the girl is watching mobile and eating, and in this picture, two girls eating without mobile.
Very good. So there's no mobile. Any other difference? Anyone else? Yes?
In left side, the girl is eating junk food,
Yes.
and in right side, they are eating healthy.
Healthy food, yes. Anything else?
On the left side, the girl is eating on the table.
Yes, she's sitting on the table.
On the right side, the girls are sitting on the floor.
Yes, the girls are sitting on the floor and eating. Yes?
In the left side, girl is eating with milk with fruit, strawberry, and in left side, girl is not eating.
Very good, very good. Yes. So on the left side, she's actually eating virudh ahar, which we will do later. So virudh ahar is a wrong combination. It's an antagonistic combination. You cannot combine milk with fruit. It creates toxins, arm inside. Okay. So she's eating a wrong combination. So excellent. All of you gave all the answers. So which one do you think is better? The one on the left or the one on the right?
The one on the right.
Right. So should you sit on the floor and eat, or should you sit on the table and eat?
Sit on the floor.
How does that help? Does it help? How does it, can anyone answer how it helps? Here in the school, do you sit on the floor or do you sit on the table? On the floor. So, okay, now if I'm sitting, and sometimes have you seen people standing and eating? Right? They stand and eat.
Wedding.
In the weddings, yeah. And is the wedding food light or heavy? Heavy. And they're eating heavy food and they're standing. So will their digestion be good or bad?
Bad.
Bad, right? So supposing I'm standing. Okay, I'm standing. So can I fill more in my stomach? Or can I fill more if I'm sitting cross-legged like this? When do you think more can fill in?
Like this.
More can come in like this? Who says that more will come in? See, it's just this much space. And if I stand, it's that much space. So, how much can you accommodate? Can you accommodate less while you're sitting or more?
More.
More when you're standing or sitting?
Standing.
Standing. You can accommodate more when you're standing. There's more space to expand. So, you'll end up overeating. So, if you sit like this and you put your right foot on top, right? And you eat. And so where will the blood flow be? Where will it be more when you're sitting like this as opposed to when you're standing? When you're standing, where is the blood flow directed?
In our legs.
Yeah, to our legs. And now where is it?
In our stomach.
Yeah, in the center of the body, right? So the digestion will be better if you sit like this. Okay? Now, what do you see on the right side?
Sun.
The sun. And what do you see on the left side?
Body.
And what's inside?
Stomach.
And what's inside the stomach?
Light.
Vaishvanar Agni, right? So, the sun and the fire are connected. Are they connected? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So, have you all seen a hibiscus flower?
Yes.
Have you ever seen it in the morning before sunrise?
No.
You've never seen it?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah. So, how is it? Is it closed or is it open?
Close.
It's closed. And if you pluck it and bring it and offer it in your puja, and after about say 7 o'clock or so, it opens on its own. Have you seen that?
Yes. No.
You haven't seen that? Who all have seen that? Oh yes. Yeah, here it is, the flower that I brought. So when I brought it in the morning, when I plucked it in the morning, it was closed. Because I went early and I plucked it around 6 a.m. It was closed. It was like that. Now it's opened up. And even though it's been plucked from the tree, right? It's not on the tree. So it's not connected with the plant. And still it opened up around, I think around 7 or 7:30 it opened up. So that's the power of the sun, yes. So after sunrise, it can even control something which is even plucked from the tree. So can it not control the living creatures? Yes. So it's called a circadian rhythm. Say the word circadian rhythm. So there's a rhythm, So there's a rhythm, There's sunrise and there's sunset. Then there's sunrise and there's sunset. There's a rhythm, right? Everything in nature has a rhythm. You understand rhythm? It doesn't go like this. So there's a rhythm. So after sunrise, there will be sunset. Correct? So in the same way, our bodies also have a rhythm, provided we are in sync with nature. You understand in sync? Sync means we are in tune with nature. Correct? So if we get up before sunrise and we go to bed early, then that means we are in sync with nature. So when do you think our Jataragni or Vaishwanar Agni will be strong? When the sun is bright or when it's sunset?
When it is bright.
When it's bright, right? So when is it the brightest?
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon, right? So around 12 is the brightest. So if you eat food at that time, you will be able to digest your food well. So whatever heavy food you want to eat, give me some examples of heavy food.
Paneer.
Paneer, yes.
Puri.
Puri, yes.
Rajma chawal.
Rajma chawal, very good.
Chole.
Chole. What about ice cream? Is it heavy or light? Heavy.
Pizza.
Pizza, yes.
Burger.
Burger. Okay. So halwa, is it light or heavy?
Light.
Light.
Heavy.
Heavy.
Light.
Halwa is light.
Heavy. Light.
How many of you say light? How many of you say heavy? So remember we discussed in the laddu session, what did it contain? It contained nuts. And we said are oils heavy to digest or light to digest? Light.
Heavy.
So if you drink 1 cup of oil, are you going to feel very light in the stomach?
No.
Oil is light because it floats on water. So in that way the density is light, but they are very heavy to digest. So if you eat, like you said, puris, they are heavy to digest. So the halwa contains ghee or oil, right? Usually ghee. So it's heavy to digest. So anything that is heavy to digest, we should eat during the day, in the afternoon, at lunchtime. Correct? And not at dinner time. So if we eat late after sunset, then what happens? Then the fire is low and it is most likely undigested. Correct? And then it creates harm. So many people go out for late night dinners, right? For late night parties. And then they eat all the heavy things. They eat pizzas and then have ice cream. And they have a cold Coke to just make sure that the entire Agni is extinguished. And so that they can create 100% harm. So we should eat with the sun. So in many religions, do you know that many religions, they eat before sunset, right? So it's a very scientific concept. It's got nothing to do with the religion. It's to do with your health. What about bathing? Have you experienced that after you bathe, you feel hungry or you don't feel hungry? You feel very hungry, right? So bathing actually increases the Vaishwanar Agni. And especially if you have a cold shower, right? A tap water, not hot water. So that increases the Agni and you feel hungry and your food gets digested well. But if you bathe after eating, it has an opposite effect. Right? If you eat and then you go and have a bath, then it's going to reduce your Agni and then you'll get harm. So what do you do after a meal? How many of you go and play out after lunch? I've seen some of you playing outside. Yeah, you do that. So what should you do? So if you're playing, if you're running, okay, or playing cricket, so where is the blood going to go? In the legs. And if you're bowling, where is it going? In the arms, right? So is it going to go in the stomach? No. And for digestion, do you want the blood to go into your intestines or do you want it to go into your arms and legs? In the stomach and intestine, right? So if you play, soon after food, your digestion will become
low.
compromised and low. Yes. And so you should walk 100 steps. Just 100 steps. What is 100 in Sanskrit? Shata. So it is called Shatapadi. That is, pada is steps. So Shatapadi, that is, you walk 100 steps. And then you go and sit in Vajrasan. You know the asana, this asana, right? So this is the only asana which can be done after food. So you sit in Vajrasan, and this will help the digestion process. And then after that, you go and lie down on the left side. So your left side will be next to the bed and your right side will be on top. So when you do that, which nostril will open up? The right nostril. And you want the right nostril to open up, isn't it? Right nostril is which nadi? Surya or Chandra? Surya nadi, and that helps in digestion. So, but what is the important thing in this? If you lie down like this, what will happen?
We will sleep.
Yeah, you'll fall asleep, but you don't want to fall asleep. So you just lie down for 10 minutes just to activate the right nostril, the Surya Nadi. And make sure that you don't fall asleep, because if you fall asleep after eating food, what will it do?
Make arm.
It will create arm. Because sleeping during the day, especially after a meal, suppresses the Agni and it creates arm. So when you wake up, how do you feel after?
Lazy.
Yeah, you feel lazy, you feel like your nose is blocked and you feel the body is aching. Those are all signs of arm. Understood? Okay, so now we know how to prevent arm. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.